Chapter 3 Better Decision Making. Do you think you are a decisive person? Well, if you say yes immediately, then you are. However, if the answer is I don't know, then you probably aren't. Not many people fall into the former category. There are some who are better at decision making than others. Then there are some who can make the right decision easily when compared to others. And then there are those who need a little help in this department. Regardless of the category that you fall into, decision-making is a skill that comes in handy in every aspect of life. Being able to make right decisions is crucial if you want to succeed in life. Being able to make decisions quickly is equally important. We always have different options, and knowing how to select one can have a severe impact on your life. In this chapter, you will learn about the 6 various steps that you can make use of for making better decisions. Don't try to be a perfectionist. Stop trying to be a perfectionist. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do your best. However, you need to know when it is the right time to stop. It doesn't mean that you should settle for less if it isn't the best. It simply means that you should set criteria and stick to it. A perfectionist always thinks, maybe I can do better than this, and keeps gathering information instead of acting. There will always be a different way in which you can improve upon your action. However, you will never know if you don't try. A perfectionist hesitates while taking the first step, and this can be a significant deterrent when it comes to decision making. A perfectionist always believes that there are only 2 possible outcomes in any given situation, either success or failure. This isn't how the world works. It's great that you want to be good at something, but it is equally important to understand where to draw the line as well. Don't think that a task isn't completed just because it isn't perfect. Also, this mentality can prevent you from starting something. Not just starting, but even finishing it as well. Instead of chasing perfection, you should focus on being better and completing the task. Start thinking like Franklin. Franklin used to make use of a method he referred to as moral algebra whenever he had to make a decision. This is a very simple yet useful technique that can help you in making decisions. Take a piece of paper and fold it in half. On one half of it, list down the pros, and on the other, write down the cons. Think about it for a while, and then start listing down these things. Once you have listed everything out, strike off a pro and con that are of equal weightage. In the end, whatever is left will help you to find a solution and assist you in making a decision. Listen to your gut. We all have an inner voice that tries helping us in deciding what is right and wrong. However, more often than not, we tend to ignore the inner voice. We ignore it so much that it starts becoming feeble. We are all born with an instinctual compass that can help us determine what the best course of action is for us. This compass is your conscience. Whenever you think you're doing something wrong, don't you feel a sinking sensation in your gut that tells you something is amiss? Learn to listen to your gut. If you have a bad feeling about something, then it probably is bad. Your intuition can guide you through a difficult decision. Just learn to listen to it. In our process of growing up, we often tend to ignore our intuition because of what others say and do. Understanding cognitive bias. Perhaps one of the most cliched questions that a therapist will ask their patient is to tell me more about your childhood. Human beings collect their experiences. Depending on whether a particular incident or situation is positive or negative, our minds start creating biases. For instance, if you were ever mugged on a specific street, it is very likely that you will try to avoid that street in the future. Or perhaps you were in a relationship with an unfaithful partner, and this will create trust issues and make you question how faithful any potential partner is. These are instances of negative cognitive bias that your brain develops. Such biases can have a lasting impact on your ability to decide. In the same sense, your brain can favor certain things just because of the positive experience you might have had while growing up. Bias can impair your sense of decision-making and prevent you from thinking rationally. Choosing your timing wisely. You should be mindful of the time when you are deciding as well. For instance, it isn't advisable that you make a big decision after an argument with your partner. This is bound to affect your ability to think clearly, and you will end up doing something impulsively. We often tend to make decisions when we aren't in the right frame of mind. When you are feeling angry, it is likely that you will end up doing something rashly without thinking things through and without thinking about the repercussions of your actions. Always make decisions when your mind isn't foggy. However, spending too much time thinking or overanalyzing is a dangerous thing as well. When in a bad mood, don't make a quick decision. Sleep on it or spend time to think it through. Decide on things that are important. Regardless of your age or profession, you will be faced with numerous decisions every day. However, not every decision needs to be given the same weight. For instance, having to decide the theme for a project needs to be given more weight than the choosing what you have for your next meal. Learn to differentiate between the decisions that are important and the ones that aren't. You obviously shouldn't spend the same amount of time trying to research about a particular lawn fertilizer when compared to learning about a specific health condition. Learn to prioritize your tasks and spend more time while deciding something of significance. When you learn to prioritize your ability to make decisions, you can divert most of your energy towards things that are worth something. There are some who are naturally good decision makers, some who like surrounding themselves with good decision makers, and others who aren't that good at it. Well, like any other skill, even this can be acquired and developed. Follow the simple strategies mentioned in this chapter for making better decisions.